So what's wrong with sex trafficking?
Literally everything?
How so? Give me 4 ways in which sex trafficking is bad.
4 ways?
Yes.
Well, you're moving people against their will
to
places they don't want to go.
So moving people is bad.
Moving people to places they didn't
So
want
musicians
to go.
who make you dance are bad. All right, but anyways, so you're anti-music.
You don't want to.
So no, like you might not want to dance, but then Bruno Mars comes on, and then you start snapping your fingers along. So anyways,
God damn it! I'm moving, and I didn't want to.
So much like Bruno Mars,
yeah,
they make people move whether or not they want to. All right, so 1.
Right, they could take people away from their families.
Isn't that
2.
That's the same as making them move?
Not really.
It's exactly the same.
You could move their family too, but they don't. So it's not the same.
I feel that this is very similar.
Okay.
And that you're just trying to create a difference that isn't there.
Okay.
I feel like
I'm making it reason 2 though.
Yeah, let's go 1.5. 1.5. But anyways, keep going. So
3.
Yep.
Yeah. You're making people do inappropriate for their age things.
So when is it appropriate to sex traffic someone? What age does that become appropriate? Well, no, you said inappropriate for their age.
It's not. It's never
you
right.
said, no, but you said inappropriate for their age.
For their age.
So what is the state legal age minimum for this to be appropriate?
It's only slightly less egregious if they're over 18, but it's still very, very wrong.
So you're saying that you feel better if the person who's the victim of sex trafficking is over 18?
Only slightly.
It's a yes or no question.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Yes or no.
I will fight you right now.
Okay, so we've got 2.5. I need 1.5 more.
You need 1.5 more?
Yeah, because I asked for 4. And if with how negative you were about this, I feel like this should be
Well,
easy.
it's pretty similar to kidnapping, and kidnapping is bad, so...
I feel like your first 1.5 was basically describing what kidnapping is.
Yeah.
So maybe you're not as against this as you once thought you were, is I guess what I'm saying. Is that possibly it? Because you don't seem to have a lot of reasons to be against it.
Right.
So, what I'm saying is, you could play the female love interest in my new movie.
Oh!
Because being slightly okay with sex trafficking is going to be really important.
Oh.
Right?
That's a requirement for this job.
Well, not for the job, for the character.
For the role.
For the job. No, we think you're a monster. We've all agreed that you're a monster.
Right.
Like, you should have been like, I'm against sex trafficking 100%. There should have been no debate, but you seem to be very flip-floppy. You seem to need more evidence to be against it. But like I said, for a person... terrible. We actually dislike you. Now we've now decided you're awful.
But for the
character, you're the perfect person for this role. So the movie opens up.
Right.
Ben Stiller. You're obviously not Ben Stiller.
Really? I thought I was.
I mean, you could play Ben Stiller playing the character.
Ben Stiller playing.
Like we could do like Eddie Murphy's early '90s comedies where he played like 1,000 different characters in the movie, and you could play all like you could be dressed up as the actor I say was the character, so you could be playing the character playing the character, like you could be playing the actor playing the character.
Yeah.
So it'd be like Face Off. Where Nick Cage was doing the John Travolta.
And John Travolta is playing Nicolas Cage.
Yeah, same idea.
Faces are swapped.
Yeah, so
even though they didn't have the same blood type, the operation wouldn't work in the first place.
Okay, but
it's a 90s movie.
You're focused on the wrong thing.
Yeah, but they checked. No.
You're focused. No. You're focused on the wrong thing. So you're Ben Stiller.
No.
Now.
I now pronounce you Ben Stiller.
I hope you realize that now there can be no minority characters in this movie. I hope you're okay about that.
I'm not okay with that.
Oh, would you rather we have you in blackface?
No.
Well,
oh dear God!
So I'm asking the question.
Wait, so did Eddie Murphy play every single character in the whole movie?
Well, there's only going to be a few characters in the movie.
Oh.
So, it would be obscure if you only played some of them.
Oh.
It's going to be a smaller cast.
It would be obscure.
Yeah.
None of your other movies are obscure?
Never. They're all perfectly normal.
Of course not.
So anyways, the movie opens up with... I'm going to say Ben Stiller, but I want you to imagine you playing Ben Stiller playing the character.
No. Okay.
All right. Okay. So you're Ben Stiller. Okay. Are you envisioning yourself as Ben Stiller?
Yeah.
Do you like what you see?
No.
What's wrong with Ben Stiller?
Nothing. He's perfect. I don't deserve that. That's
okay. All right. So anyways, Ben Stiller is in a dark apartment. All the windows are closed. It's well kept because it's Ben Stiller. You know, he's gonna have things nice.
Yeah.
It's well kept, but it's dark apartment. You can't see in there. Opens up. He's doing like a data entry, like work from home type thing. You know, but it's really boring, like clickety clackety on the
he's
keyboard. There's no I don't know, like video chat or anything. It's just him alone. He's not like in a Zoom meeting.
Right.
And then all of a sudden his phone buzzes. He looks at his phone and it's just like, your delivery's at the door. So, he waits a few minutes and he checks the eye hole. There's no one at the door. He opens the door, he grabs his package and then he goes back to it. And this...
Does he open the package?
He opens the package. It's just like cleaners and toiletries and stuff like that. And this happens.
Is that because he recently moved or something?
Well, you're getting ahead of yourself.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
So it's sort of a montage. Like it just shows that throughout the day and throughout the week, he's just doing the same thing. He's like clicking on the computer, like it's clearly his job. Then he checks his bank account. He gets paid for his job. Buzz on the phone. Checks out the window. No one's there. Grabs his package, and it's never anything exciting. It's just stuff that you'd need to live. Sometimes it's like a rotisserie chicken.
Oh. I do need those to live.
Yeah, most people need at least one rotisserie chicken a week to live.
Oh, shit, then I'd be dead.
Yeah.
If I were most people.
Yeah.
If I were most people, I'd be dead.
You could eat more. Like, most Americans could eat far more than one rotisserie chicken a day. If you look at your standard American, they could eat 3 to 4 rotisserie chickens. No problem.
No problem.
You put three rotisserie chickens in front of a Midwestern person, they're like, well, hopefully you've got biscuits. This is not enough.
You have gravy for this son of a bitch.
But anyways, but we're distracted on the rotisserie chicken.
As people often are.
Yeah. Well, it's juicy and delicious.
Yeah. So you don't even need the gravy, actually.
Well... If you're going to have the biscuits, you should have the gravy.
Oh, all right.
We're talking about like a stout Midwest American.
A stout
Midwestern
American.
Broad of shoulder.
Oh. Okay.
They like the ladies are very handsome.
A handsome woman.
Yes. They've got strong jaws.
Yes.
Very, very rugged looking.
Okay.
So he's getting all the stuff delivered. It's very clear he never leaves his apartment. But the apartment's very nice. It's like well put together.
Right.
He's got like art. I don't know.
What kind of art?
Boring.
Boring art?
It's Ben Stiller.
Oh, come on.
So the thing's going, and then all of a sudden there's a knock on the door. Boom! Ben Stiller just stops moving. And you can see the fear. Well, you as Ben Stiller just stop moving, and you can see the terror in his eyes.
From his face.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's being attacked by a vampire.
Up.
So just imagine like Twilight. All the brutal feeding scenes in Twilight. Imagine one of those.
I wish I remembered that.
Where all the blood is just being drawn from them, and the person's like fighting, and the life slowly leaves their body.
I wish that was in the movie, but please continue.
You probably were just distracted at all the sparkly and stuff.
Okay.
Anyways,
I was distracted by the
glitter. You're like, glitter.
Oh, glitter.
So anyways.
Yeah.
He's like horrified.
Oh.
And then there's a knock again, and he's just like standing completely still. Like he's just like try not to move.
He's terrified.
And now it like cuts, like the instant cut where it's clearly the same scene, but clearly time has passed. And you can see that 3 to 4 hours, there was a clock over his shoulder. Oh. An analog clock, not a digital clock. So people are going to struggle to realize that time has passed. Oh. But it's going to be sort of like the main focus of the scene. That 3 to 4 hours has passed.
You're doing something, what I like to call it, trusting the intelligence of your audience.
Yes, which I know is dangerous.
I know.
This movie will not do well in America.
Let's just say that right move, now. And I
because
respect
people
that.
aren't intelligent.
I respect that move, though.
Most people are not intelligent.
Right. Correct.
That's just out there. Like if you're a person, I probably don't trust your intelligence.
Okay. That's fair.
If you are if you're a non-person, like say you're a dog, I trust your intelligence. Like if a dog is like, hey, we should go this way, I'm going to listen to that dog because they're probably going to bring me to something like a carcass, a bone, a stick, something cool.
Are those things that you want?
Possibly. But now if you follow a person and they're like, hey, we should go this way, you might wind up at a Taylor Swift concert.
Oh, God.
Yeah, see? Which was better. A carcass. Or a Taylor Swift concert.
I'm 100% going for the carcass.
I'm team carcass.
Yeah, I'm going for the carcass in this. Yes.
Yeah, so I'm trusting that people can tell that time has passed. And it's clearly been a few hours and he's standing there.
Okay. Is it like darker out? Maybe.
Well, no, his apartment's always dark.
Oh, okay.
I mean, it's very poorly lit.
Sorry, forgot that detail.
And then he starts moving, and that's when the title goes across the screen. So I Married a Sex Trafficker. It's a movie about a guy who's been a shut-in ever since his wife was arrested of sex trafficking.
Oh, no.
And she was like a kingpin. She was like head of a very large sex trafficking gang. And he did not know anything. He legitimately did not know anything.
He thought she was a good person.
Yeah, he actually thought she worked at a bank, because that was her cover. Because here's the thing, and this is a thing I honestly believe. There are very few crimes as heinous that, like, even if you're innocent, just being related to that person, and like just being 1 degree of separation makes people fucking hate you. So like you could be proven without a shadow of a doubt completely innocent, which Ben Stiller was. Like, there's no twist.
He had no idea.
Like there's not going to be a twist at the end where like Ben Stiller was actually the sex trafficker. No, I'm telling you right at the beginning.
He's innocent.
Ben Stiller, 100% innocent.
Okay.
But in every single picture of this lady being brought in for sex trafficking, and it's like children, it's like all sorts of stuff, like the worst crimes you can imagine are all, and he's like standing right next to her at all the pictures. So like through no fault of his own.
Wait, how is he in the pictures of her being a sex trafficker?
Well, like after, like for the court case and stuff, because he was trying to support his wife because he thought that she was innocent, because he was so far out of the loop that he was like, this is clearly a mistake.
Her.
Yeah,
okay.
Like he was there as like emotional support, and then like halfway through he was like, oh crap. But it's too late. She's
actually a child sex trafficker.
Because like they showed him a few things. Like, oh no.
Is she a child sex trafficker or just a sex trafficker? All of it.
She didn't discriminate.
Okay, got it.
She was like, if you could make money selling people into slavery, she was for it.
Okay.
So like that's the premise, is that now because his face was everywhere, everyone hates him through no fault of his own.
Right.
Because I feel this is the character that Ben Stiller was made to play. A character, through no fault of his own, is hated by society more than almost anyone. So now he has decided to become a shut-in and start, he still wants to live life, but he never leaves his apartment, and he's always scared. But now he's decided he's going to re-enter the dating pool. I don't know why. For whatever reason, like maybe his one friend who still calls up and checks on him, like finally convinces him to start going out on dates.
You gotta get back out there, buddy.
It's probably going to take 15, 20 minutes. I think it's going to be Paul Rudd. Paul Rudd is owns a bar. Yeah. Well, because say you were hated by society.
Okay.
And somebody had to.
How do you know I'm not?
Assuming.
Oh.
But say you're hated by...
Assumptions make an ass out of you. So.
And Uma Thurman, yes.
Oh.
Assumptions make an ass out of you and Uma Thurman. But anyways.
Okay, alright, yep.
But if you were hated by society, like like real hate, like people spit on you, like screaming at you hate, who is the one person who could convince you to go back into society?
Paul Rudd.
Exactly. Because he's just a nice guy. You know, like, oh god, people like
he's so lovable.
Yeah, like people know that you weren't part of it. You know, like he's like. Plus, he's a bartender, so it's Paul Rudd plus somebody whose job is being charismatic.
So Paul Rudd is a bartender. He's charismatic, and he's Ben Stiller's friend.
Yep. And he convinces him.
He's like, buddy, you gotta get back out there.
You can't live in your tiny apartment.
Live like this.
Yeah, like that's not a life.
My man.
And he's like, you know, I actually like not being spit on and like threatened with like physical violence.
Right. So he doesn't want.
And Paul Rudd's like, hey, you did nothing wrong, because legitimate. I can't stress this enough. He did nothing wrong.
He did nothing wrong.
It's not like she didn't bring her work home.
No.
They lived a very bank manager-esque life. Yeah. A bank manager could have led the life that they were living, so he had no reason to not assume.
No idea.
Yeah. So anyway, and plus she worked at a bank because it was the cover. The cover was that she worked at a bank.
Was the bank a real bank? Or
no, it was a fake bank.
But it was a fake bank.
Yeah.
But she seemed like she ran a bank.
Exactly.
Okay.
Because it was like one of those banks that like doesn't like have like tellers and stuff. It's like a business to business bank type thing where you wouldn't like walk in to open an account.
So normal like, people wouldn't really be able to suspect.
And like the website was like really janky. It looked like it was from like the early 90s. Like it had like.
When does this take place?
In the movie.
In the when does the movie take place?
When the person's watching it.
Oh my god. Okay.
Well, I would say like it could be present day, but like the website is like just very unresponsive, so people just get angry and they give up and they're like, I'm gonna go use U.S. Bank. You know,
that's the only reason people use.
So
US
it
Bank.
looks like a real bank, but because like they've created it to like there's no people, which usually helps businesses. Like if you can like do services without ever interacting with people, that's like a bonus now.
Right.
But now the internet's really shitty when you deal with it, so like people just get frustrated because you click on something and then it like buffers for a second. And you're like, oh, this is insanity. Like, I don't have time for this.
I don't have time for this.
Yeah, and you know like it asks for 2 forms of identification right away. And you're just like, nope, I'm not fucking doing it.
No,
like when the options to sign in come up, it doesn't give you the option to sign in with like your Google account or something. You have to do like a long form sign in where there's no autocomplete.
Well, I do hate the person that I become when I have to type things out on a TV screen with a remote.
Plus, before you can do anything, you have to create one of those passwords, and there's like 5 different like special rules where it needs to be uppercase, lowercase, special character, and autocomplete is not allowed on the site. So you have to remember it, and immediately it asks you to re-enter your password. You forgot that shit right away because you're like, it's just going to remember.
I always forget my password right away.
So they have like designed this to be as unhelpful as possible.
Yeah, that was my next question: is did they design this to be specifically unhelpful?
Yeah, okay. Perfect. So they would never get clients, but they still looked like a real bank. They had like all this stuff, and it was just a giant money laundry thing.
Passable as a real bank.
Exactly.
Okay.
So he's completely innocent. Finally, Paul Rudd convinces him. So he creates an online dating account. He's on the Bumble. He's on the Tinder. He's on all of them. He's on all of them.
Is he on Grindr?
He could be on Grindr.
Okay.
You know, maybe he wants to branch out. You know,
we don't judge.
Like, I mean, he can be on Grindr for you because I think that you might be more comfortable with the man on man sex scene. Especially because you gotta play both characters.
I know. I have to.
We're gonna have to like edit it really weird when Ben Stiller is bent in front of the other guy and you're just giving it to this pillow who looks like you as dressed up as Ben Stiller. So you dressed up like Jason Mantzoukas is giving it to Ben Stiller pillow. Just like, yeah, take it, little man.
I've always wanted to play Jason Mantzoukas.
You've always wanted to play Jason Mantzoukas penetrating Ben Stiller anally? That's a dream you've had?
Yeah. Well, I'll go with that.
You know, this has taken a really wild turn. But now, I think you played...
Maybe it could just be one scene just to be like, he's trying new things. He's trying to
and then afterwards, you have to like take a shower and be like, it wasn't the worst thing that happened, but
I think I'm good.
Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, he tried it.
Like, it's not like a shame shower. He's just trying to get the Manzuka stink off him. Like he's all sweaty and he's like, smells like Brute.
Brute.
But yeah, he's just cleaning up time because he likes it tidy. All right. But like.
Okay.
I'm not trying to shame anyone.
Right.
Like Ben Stiller was open to it. He tried it. Afterwards, he was like, "Hey, he was a sensual lover. I like the experience itself wasn't for me.
Yeah.
But not because of him as a person. It just is not for me.
Wasn't the worst thing ever, but it's not maybe my thing. Yeah. But we can move on from it.
It's sort of like vanilla ice cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I would assume that Jason Mantzoukas anally penetrating another man for most people would be like vanilla ice cream. It's like, if there's no other options, I'll have it. But I would really like Rocky Road.
But I love vanilla ice cream.
What?
Oh no.
Wait. Are you talking about specifically vanilla ice cream, or in the scenario you love
literal? I am talking about a literal.
Okay, because I thought I was learning something new about you. That you were like, I just love it when that guy just...
Because that's why I was so hesitant to say that, Soger, is I was like, well, I do really love the literal vanilla ice cream.
Okay, good. We got that
euphemisms in any way, yeah.
All right, but so he's on the grinder. He meets up with Jason Mantzoukas. And that date goes really well.
Hook up,
and that's like the first date. Because
it's his first date.
That's his first date back in, and he goes on that because all the women recognize him right away, and he just gets like a bunch of hate mail.
Did Jason Mantzoukas recognize him?
No, he did not.
So he's kind of
he's just a charming guy. Yeah,
he's a charming guy who's rather oblivious to the court scene.
Yeah. He doesn't pay attention.
Okay.
But that date goes well, which like reinforces him to believe that there's good in the world.
Oh.
So it's sort of a positive. So so he's like, well, that went well. That would have been better if it wasn't a hairy man. It would have been much better if it was a nice lady.
Right. He doesn't have anything specifically against hairy men. He's just
he does.
Oh,
he does.
Oh.
That was a big turnoff. like the actual problem was the hairy man.
Okay. So you're saying if it was less hairy of a man, he would have less of a problem?
I mean, I guess the less hair would help. Less broad shoulders. Probably smaller penis too. Like if it was like almost like not there and inverted, he would really like that man.
A micro penis or an inverted cock would be better.
Yes, like that would be better. But like,
wait, does he have to go to Femboy Hooters?
That could be where their date took place, and that could have been why he continued on with the date. He was like looking around, and he was like, "Well, I mean, that cat boy over there is actually pretty supple,
Supple?
Yes.
Jeez.
Are you all right?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
I'm fine. I'm like tears are in my eyes right now.
Why?
We're good.
What's wrong with him thinking that the cat boy working the register is pretty supple?
I don't know the usage of the word supple, and also just the fact that I didn't. I woke up this morning and I didn't really think that I would be saying Femboy Hooters.
But I think it makes an excellent first date.
Okay.
Because here's how I think it works. I think he's like on the regular dating sites. All the ladies recognize him right away.
Him.
And then in an act of desperation.
Yeah.
Because he's like, well, I would really just like companionship. And, he was like, because this happened like in his early 20s. Like he's been locked away for a while. Last time he was in
self-exiled, not really.
Yeah, exactly.
Away. Yeah.
So when before he was locked away, he was still in that like experimental stage, and now he's just never had the chance. So he's like, maybe I'll check out Grindr.
I'll try something
new.
New.
Guys will be more understanding. Because women are unreasonable, like just awful.
You're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
So that's what. And then the guy is like, hey, I'd really like to go Femboy Hooters. and Ben Stiller right away is like, well, I would like some wings.
I could go for some wings.
Yeah, I mean, I really like how this growing.
Yeah.
It's actually what Ben Stiller said to Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh no. Okay.
So, anyways.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work out.
Okay.
Showers. But he's regained faith in humanity.
Right.
Plus he might
did help.
Plus he might go back and get some wings and see if he can't chat up the femboy or the cat boy that looked really supple.
Yeah.
But like that's like because he's like at the end of the day he's like writing out his journal and like there's the voiceover.
Oh,
and because we need to know like what Ben Stiller's thinking. So I think at the end of every night he's like journaling like the experience. And that's where we got like a lot of these details, and I think the end is, well, maybe I go back to femboy Hooters.
We are having,
and I can get that supple cat boy.
You know, I was gonna say, should we have that be kind of the end of the movie, but I didn't want to.
I think that's a very short movie.
But I didn't want to spoil it. There's like that's towards.
So the entire movie is Ben Stiller alone in his apartment getting yelled at by women, and then a sex scene with Jason Mantzoukas and him going, well, I mean, I didn't like the hairy Greek guy, but let's go get the little boy. I think that says the wrong thing.
Wait, but there has to be stuff in between, okay? Because the Jason Mantzoukas...
Well, does there, though? I mean, we could do it. This could be a good 90-minute movie.
It already feels 90 minutes. Okay, but...
Well, the sex scene with Jason Mantzoukas and Ben Stiller is going to be long.
Like how long?
I don't know. I say minimum 30 minutes.
Oh, okay.
It's real time.
All right.
It's real time.
Okay.
The romance leaves and it turns into a chore towards the end.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, but
because Jason Mantzoukas isn't feeling it either.
Oh.
Like, he's just doing it because, like, well, I guess.
He's just bored?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because Ben Stiller showed up, and he also hasn't taken pictures, so he was, like, 20 years younger. So Mantzoukas is like, well, I mean, I wasn't really looking for a silver fox, but yeah, let's do this. Because Ben Stiller looks like he inadvertently catfished him.
Oh, I was just gonna say.
He didn't think about it.
Ben Stiller, like, he didn't mean to catfish him, so he just feels a little bad.
But because he's been shut away for so long, he didn't realize that you lose track of time.
Yeah.
Like, how many times have you been like, I'm going to just focus on my work, and next thing you know, you're like 40 years old. Like, you started at like 18.
When was the last time I did that?
Yeah.
Recently, actually, because I was going to go somewhere with this, but I'm not 40 years old yet. I can't say
I was going to say, you got really old.
I did suddenly get kind of old.
So anyways... Like he inadvertently catfished him, but that was like the last picture. And unfortunately, just because of the whole thing, he had to like crop his picture out of like the courtroom photos and stuff. Because I think that's a lot funnier, as if he has like no other photos and he's trying to crop it out.
The part of the photo that he was in of these like scandalous court.
Exactly. So I think there's a lot going on here, but like Mantzoukas also, he was like, well, I already drove here, and and he got there early, and he already got some wings, and he's like, well, I'm already $10 in, so I guess I'll like clap this old man's cheek.
Oh no!
And the best part is when he's leaving, there's a voiceover from Mantzoukas saying, maybe I'll go chat up that cat boy who was working the register.
Okay.
I think at some point.
Oh.
I think the end is there's a three-way relationship, a throuple.
A throuple.
With Ben Stiller, Mantzoukas, and the cat boy.
And the cat boy from Fanboy Hooters.
Yeah, I think that's the end.
Oh.
But there's going to be like a normal love story in the middle.
That's where I was getting to. What's the middle of the story?
The boring part?
Yeah.
I think he starts going out on dates with ladies.
Oh, the filler in this rom-com.
Exactly.
Okay,
yeah.
Got it.
So, and then then he starts like going out on like normal quote unquote dates with ladies that don't
traditional.
That like walks on the beach, going to a coffee shop, and the stupidest thing, going to see a movie. That's like the dumbest date ever. Anyone who goes out on a date to a movie, that's just you're foolish.
Why?
How are you supposed to talk during a movie?
I still talk during movies. I'm really obnoxious on my dates.
Well, yeah. So what you're saying is you're going to ask somebody to go to a movie, and then you're going to ruin the movie for them, and then you're like, well, I sort of liked him, but fuck, I don't even know what happened to Anakin Skywalker.
Yes.
Like I
do that all the time.
Is Jar Jar okay? Because that's what I'm concerned about. What's the status on Jar Jar?
I don't know. I was talking about
I mean, especially during the pod racing scene. Could you imagine if during the pod racing scene, somebody distracted you and you missed the magistry that is pod racing?
Magistry?
Magistry.
The pod race scene in Star Wars Phantom
Probably the
Menace.
only part of Star Wars that's watchable. Like,
for the viewers at home, he has not watched Star Wars.
This is the only part of Star Wars that's watchable.
Yeah,
it takes all the best.
Still has not.
It takes all the best parts of Fast and Furious, the better movie series, and puts them into the much worse Star Wars, and it makes it better. Really, the only way it could have been better is if Don did the pod racing, saved Anakin and his mom because family.
Because family.
Yeah.
Oh.
See?
Wow.
Wouldn't that be a better movie?
Better movie. He wouldn't have to, like...
Because did Anakin's mom get saved in Star Wars?
No.
But isn't she family?
Yeah.
Oh, Dom always saves family.
Well, how do you know that? You haven't watched Star Wars, Soger.
I haven't watched Fast and the Furious either. so neither of these matter. I feel like you are trying to argue a point that is irrelevant to the conversation. What I am saying right now is, does Anakin's mom get saved?
No.
Would Dom not save Anakin's mom?
He would save Anakin's mom.
Better movie.
You're right. I know. You're always right. And
Perfect.
The point is that you don't have to see the movie to know if it's trash or not.
Exactly.
So
Fast and
you
we both
subverted my expectations, even though I knew that you probably hadn't watched what movie you're talking so much about.
So now here's my question though. So we are in agreement. Fast and Furious better than Star Wars. Yes.
No.
All right.
For the sake of the movie, fine.
Well, no, not for this movie. I'm talking real life.
Real life.
Yeah, real life.
I can't
Fast
say
and Furious
that.
is way better than Star Wars.
I can't say that.
I've already pointed out that's better.
I can't
All right, but
say
anyways,
that.
we're off track. So he goes on dates with women.
Okay.
And sometimes they go well for a while. Now what happens is they excuse themselves to the restroom because some of the women don't Google them right away.
No! They Google them when they're in the bathroom?
Yeah, they Google them, and then they're like, that pile of shit!
Oh
and then
my
they
god, it's that fucking guy!
And he gets drinks thrown on him and all this shit.
I thought it was maybe one of the chicks will go to the bathroom.
No.
Hold on.
No.
Will you hear me out for once?
Never.
I know. So, wait, maybe one of the ladies goes to the bathroom and they do the thing where they, excuse themselves to go to the bathroom and then they just don't come back to the table. And then a different lady will do that exact same thing, except she comes all the way back to the table just to,
there's
in his face.
There's a montage of, him in, different outfits at, different restaurants, getting, and the women excuse, and then they come back, throw the drinks on them. Sometimes they show up just to assault them,
Yeah.
Sometimes,
one slaps him, maybe.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people who are affected by it. Because, like I said, this is a massive organization that his wife was in charge of.
Where does this take place?
America.
Oh, how specific of you! No, where in America?
A suburb. I
was gonna say maybe specifically this suburb of people was greatly affected.
Yeah.
So that was my only point there.
So yeah. So sometimes people show up to beat him up, and he gets and once again, I can't stress this enough, completely innocent, and that's what makes it funny.
It was not his fault.
Yeah, that's what makes it funny, is that he's just being assaulted for no reason. He's an innocent bystander whose life is completely destroyed.
Oh.
Yes. Yeah, poor man, exactly.
Poor man.
So anyways, I hope you have now gotten the meta joke.
Okay.
Anyways, this poor lady ruined this guy's life. Anyways.
Oh
no! There's always 5 layers of joke.
The 5-layer joke dip.
Yeah. So anyway, this guy's life has been ruined by this lady through no fault of his own.
Right. He did not know.
Yeah. He's been canceled more or less.
Oh.
Yeah. But anyways, so now lady shows up. And he's at this point, he's like, man, maybe I should call Manzukis again because these ladies are unreasonable. I know I wasn't a big fan of the big hairy dude, but I was not a big fan of the big hairy dudes hitting me with baseball bats either.
Does it kind of balance out?
Well, he gave good head rubs. Like when they were riding the cab back to his place, Mantzoukas was putting the moves on him, where you give like a really good scalp massage, and he was like nuzzling them and stuff, like,
so affectionate.
Yeah, well, exactly. So the Ben Stiller character is like, I mean, the big sweaty man penetrating my butthole, not the best part, but like everything else, we can do that.
Everything else, I will make this work.
Yeah, because now he needs companionship.
He needs someone.
Because it's like one of those things. Yeah, when he was a shut-in, he was like fine because he hadn't been around people for so long that he just accepted it. But now
he didn't even realize how much he craved.
Yeah, exactly.
And now he realizes he wants someone to be loving towards him.
But now some lady, he went up on a date with a lady. Turns out, guess what? Blind.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Plot twist.
Yep, she's blind. Doesn't notice right away that, he's pretty fucking famous for bad things. So it's working out pretty good for him.
Okay.
So they have a couple of dates, there's montages of him, like, them going out on dates and him getting punched in the face, and then he has to come up with an excuse why a stranger punched him in the face on the date.
Oh, to the lady.
Because the people at large still fucking hate him. Yeah. And the cops never do anything because...
Of course not.
Because they think he got away with it. So they don't believe he's innocent. They just think he got away with it. So, like, the cops, will literally see him get punched in the face. Like, we didn't see shit. Maybe you should be a pile of shit. Maybe if you weren't such a pile of shit, that person wouldn't have fucking hit you.
Right. They're justifying the assault in public streets.
But, once again, I feel that most people, given the situation, if they saw that, they'd be like, no, fuck that guy. He should be punched in the face.
Fuck that guy.
Because society at large, think that he got away with it. But he did not get away with it. I can't stress. The most important part is we have to do a backwards, go back in time thing. A flashback that shows that he literally had no part in it. Right.
We do have to convince the audience that he was totally innocent.
He was really into Warhammer or Magic cards. So whenever he was home, he was heating a figurine or sorting decks. While she was conducting business, but he was just "Ooh, I'm gonna paint my orc blue."
He's really an innocent man.
Yeah. So, no fault of his own. Right. So now he winds up with this blind lady. Right. Things are going well. She might be the one.
She's a good person, right?
Yeah,
seemingly.
Yeah, she's normal.
Yeah.
But now feels a little bit of guilt because can he bring her into his life? Also, he never divorced his wife.
Oh, what?
Because her job gives him health insurance.
Oh.
And because it's America, you can't not have health insurance.
Sex trafficking gives health insurance?
Well, she also still, worked for a bank. They couldn't prove that, they could prove the sex trafficking. They didn't prove that the bank was just a shoddy, so he's still getting, health insurance from the bank. Because the organization keeps running.
And if he actually went through with a divorce...
He wouldn't have health insurance.
Oh!
And it's America.
Okay.
And you need health insurance. Oh. So he's still married to her. So he feels guilty, one, that just being seen with him is going to make this, ruin this lady's life because people are like, what is she doing with him? She must be a pile of shit, too.
I'm putting her in danger.
Yep. And two, I'm also married.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's kind of a tough one there, buddy.
That's a tough sell.
That's a tough one.
I feel one of those you might be able to get away with. You might be able to convince a lady, hey, I know I'm married, but we should date. I think
that one's
you can possibly get away with that. Or you could also possibly get away with, hey, my wife is in federal prison for being the kingpin of a sex trafficking gang and smaller pool, but I think there might be a few people who are sounds okay, I guess. I think both of them not going to get anyone. I think that's too much.
Okay.
So they immediately, both of those things together, I think, is far too much for any person to reasonably be I would like to continue pursuing this relationship.
Two red flags that are like pretty major.
Yeah. Well, still being married, I would say it's America. It's 2024. So what if you're married? Like, what does that even mean? That doesn't even mean anything? Like, oh, I'm married. So what? I can't have a girlfriend?
It's a social institution.
Yeah. That's just involving yourself in other people's business. We don't fucking do that. That's embarrassing. You should feel bad. But the other one, like you start with the other one and then you throw that one on top, and it's like, okay, no,
right,
you know,
both of them combined.
Yeah, it's a hat on a hat.
Yeah,
but anyways,
it's a synergistic effect, if you will.
So, anyways, he finally is like, I have to tell her.
Yeah.
So then, at first she's like, ooh, that's a little much. So she stops seeing him, and now he goes back to his shut-in life because, well, didn't work out. Manzukis not returning his calls.
Oh, no.
Yeah, because, Manzukis clapped them cheeks and he's out. He's like, he's fucking gone. Like, he's in the phone, like, he's in the phone is like, don't answer or whatever. Or, like, maybe if desperate, something like that.
Only if desperate.
Yeah. Like, so every time, so it cuts to Manzukis and he's like just in, like, giant orgies every time it cuts to him. He's, like, looking at the phone while he's, like, in, like, a sex club. And he's like, I don't think so, like old man.
Mid-act. Like,
yeah.
Like, he just picks up his cell phone.
But he always has a belt on, and his cell phone is like a belt holder.
So he just looks at the screen and then puts it back because he's like, no.
I think there's going to be lots of group sex in this movie.
Okay.
Every time. Like every time it cuts to him, it's just going to be Manzukis, like, surrounded by people mid-intercourse.
Of course.
Remember, you're playing all the characters. So there's going to be a lot of green screen. You're going to have to get into a lot of different... We're going to spend a lot of time editing you. With different mustaches.
Ooh, I've always wanted to try on a bunch of different mustaches while I'm CGing a bunch of intercourse.
Yeah, because let me just say, you don't have to have a mustache.
I don't.
To be in a large group sex situation.
I don't.
But if you're going to be in a large group sex situation, really you should have a mustache.
You should? Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Man or woman, you should have a mustache.
Gotcha.
It brings the whole thing together.
It brings it together. Okay.
Anyways,
I'll consider that later.
So there's that. So Manzukis ain't returning his calls. He's like, you know what? I'm gonna just go back to the clicky clacky. Just do my job.
Clicky clacky.
Yeah, get the stuff. And then we got another montage. This movie's gonna be just full of montages.
Okay.
Because there's a lot of ground to cover. We need a lot of time to pass.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden his phone rings one day. Oh, it's the blind lady.
Oh.
And she missed him.
Oh.
She missed our good friend Ben.
Oh.
Yeah. So they start talking, and then she's like, oh, I want to come over. Well, all right. So she comes over. Oh, problem. Problem. She looks very serious when she gets there. She's like, I didn't leave you because I couldn't handle it. I left you because I was not strong enough to tell you about my situation.
Oh, no.
Turns out she was cheating on Ben Stiller with the wife before she got arrested.
What?
Yes. Goes a flashback. They were having a lesbian relationship.
No!
Ben Stiller fucking flips out.
Oh my
He's like, get the fuck out of my house.
What the fuck?
Yeah, well, because marriage is sacred. And she is cheating with a married woman. It's fine if a married guy rolls around, but a woman? Unheard of.
This is unbelievable.
What the fuck?
What the fuck?
Yeah, so that's the end of that.
That's fucking over.
So now, Ben Stiller, done with women. Can't fucking trust him. Because he was betrayed by both of the women he loves.
Wow.
Awful.
That's so terrible.
Yeah, especially because this whole time he's been married. He's been like a faithful husband.
Somewhat.
What? I mean, as faithful as a husband has to be. Once again, it's okay if a guy fools her. Oh my God, it's like you don't understand English.
It's true.
Yeah.
It is my first language, and I don't always understand.
So now, Ben Stiller's like, you know what? I'm going to Hooters. Going to Femboy Hooters.
Hooters, yes!
And he goes chats up the cat boy.
Yes!
Turns out he recognized him right away. Doesn't even care. Completely understanding.
Aww.
Yeah.
He's so
They go on a tandem bicycle. Guess what? Ben Stiller gets to be the guy on top. Yeah, that's right. So then there's another twist. They've been together for a few months now.
Oh.
It's getting serious.
The cat boy from Femboy Hooters?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's getting serious.
All right.
He's moving in. But
wow.
I have to come clean. I've been seeing another man. I know, Ben Stiller for a second.
Oh, God.
His heart is about to break, but he's like, wait, you said a man?
A man?
He's like, yeah. He's like, well, that's completely understandable. I thought you said you were cheating on me with a woman. I was going to be like, fucking trollop. But as a dude, that's completely fine.
All right, who is this guy? Let me...
Jason Mantzoukas. So he shows up. Boom, thruple.
Power thruple.
Yeah, and then it shows him like, then the credits is like the anniversary, them growing old and all that stuff.
Wow.
They adopt like a bunch of puppies, you know.
Wow, aw, that's cute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what do you think?
So wholesome. Wait, I have one question.
Just one.
Just one.
Okay.
I mean, one that's.
They all move into his apartment.
They all move into this dark apartment,
yeah.
right?
Well, they open up the windows and they add pastel
so
colors.
It's symbolic.
So like, because when it started off, it's all gray and like, you know, like Ben Stillery. Yeah. By the end, it's Catboy.
It's Catboy style.
There's like anime body pillows and stuff like that.
Right. So anyone at home and or Soger here, what in a throuple? How do they handle who's the big spoon and who's the little spoon?
Well, Ben Stiller.
And who's the middle spoon? Is there a middle spoon? Oh, okay. But like,
well, actually, no. I think the Catboy would have to be the middle.
Really?
But I think we're not doing spoons.
Oh.
You're doing a Golden Gate Bridge.
What?
So Ben Stiller's one tower. Jason Mantzoukas is another tower.
God.
And then Catboy is the bridge.
Oh my God. Okay. All right.
What?
All right. No, that answers my question.
Does that answer your question?
Yeah. I was
because once again, Jason Mantzoukas gives good head rubs. Like Ben Stiller has no problem cuddling with them.
Yeah.
But he's already tried that. He didn't like it.
He didn't like the Jason Mantzoukas penetrating his butthole.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's not into that part. He doesn't mind the rest about him. Like,
yeah. So he loves the cuddling.
Yeah.
He feels so safe enveloped in his beard.
Yeah.
It's like his big broad shoulders wrapped around me. Hell yeah. Like, I'm all about that.
Yeah.
Plus, he can reach stuff up on shelves. He's good at carpentry.
Right.
It's nice to have a man around the house.
It is a really nice to have a man around the house.
And then Jason Mantzoukas is really happy because, like, Ben Stiller knows how to do taxes.
Oh, yes!
Yeah, because he works on the computer.
Perfect.
Yeah, so it makes a perfect couple.
A perfect throuple.
Yeah, and the Catboy, he makes good wings.
There you go. He does make really good wings.
He's a good cook. He cleans, whatever. Yeah. Plus, he has a very popular streaming channel. They make pretty good money.
He looks really cute in like a maid outfit.
He sits in a hot tub and people like give him like instructions while he's playing like Wii Sports or something.
He plays Wii bowling in a maid outfit.
Yeah, in a hot tub.
Yeah, in the hot. Wow.
Maybe not all at once.
3 of the things.
Yeah.
Oh.
So he's a hot tub Catboy.
Oh, okay.
Who also does gaming.
Oh, okay.
Which you could just imagine the money is just pouring in from there.
Right. That's how they make a lot of their
Thruples money.
Thruple income.
Yeah.
Yeah. Got it.
And just in case you're wondering, yes, there's lots of hardcore passionate love
Passionate boning.
Yeah. Because yes, at one point you're also playing the Catboy. You have to play the bridge in between two mannequins.
Me.
Yeah, 2 mannequins playing the 2 towers.
Wow. Are they Lord of the Rings fans too?
Sure.
The 2 towers.
Yeah, exactly.
They particularly like the 2 towers.
Exactly. It's their favorite Lord of the Rings movie.
Yeah, the other ones are okay, but they really do love them 2 towers.
Exactly. Just like ISIS.
What? Oh my God!
I know, wrong. That's not who did it.
Oh. Yeah, you're right.
George Bush did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you thought I was going to say the
I should
terrorist
have seen that
organization.
coming.